Hey, you there! Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing New Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the northeast and ending with Team 2 in the southwest. Starting off with Team 1's Ruby Red player and working our way northward. We have in, Ruby Red, it is Citrus984. He is a UA for this match as a 1700. To his west, we have in Snow White Kaze. He is a Cybran. He is also a 1700 in Snow White. To his north, in Orange Color Orange, is Kinder5129. He is a Cybran for this match as another 1700. There are 3 of them so far for Team 1. To his west, breaking the mold in the ratings at least, is the 1300 rated of Martin. He is a UEF in, that is Barbie Pink, and he is again a 1300. And last but not least for Team 1 is another UEF. It is Lou. He is a UEF. He is in Stitch Blue as a 1900. He is the highest rated player on Team 1. And overall here for Team 1, in terms of the team distribution of the factions, there are 3 UEF, 2 Cybrans, no Aeon, no Seraphim for Team 1. Starting up with Team 2, Southeastern player, we have in Batman Gray, it is Dimitri11. He is a Cybran for this match as a 2100, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game. Overall, in Royal Blue, to his north is Alex66. He is a UEF. He is an 1100. In Imperial Gray, to his west is Clipped My Wings. He is an Aeon. He is a 1700. To his north, we have in Lightest Red Pink, it is Masmori. He is a Seraphim. I believe the one and only of the game. He is a 1600. And next door to him in Chevy Crimson is the other Aeon for Team 2. It is Tabernacle. He is an 1800. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have at least one of each of the factions with 2 Aeons. They have the only Seraphim in the game, 1 UEF, 1 Cybran, again, 2 Aeons. And for these 10 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 17,000 mass and reclaim. Definitely worth going after. That's 1.75k per player. And there is a decent grouping along the edges of the map, as well as around the central sinkhole, I guess is what we're going to call this little lower section of the map here. So if you hear me refer to sinkhole, that's what I'm talking about. Besides that, there is a decent amount of mechs grouping locations. There's a quad mechs for each player on the front line, and there is also a nice little corner section of the map for Team 2's Clip My Wings to go and get some more income. Most likely he's going to be the rearguard echelon here for Team 2. There's also a quad mechs backdoor for Dimitri11, and then there's more. I mean, that's close enough to a 5-star, maybe 4-star, whatever. Clumping of mechs to the west. Besides those, there are some one-offs kind of dotted along the secondary line, but the front line is where most of the focus, of course, is going to go down. Not just because it's the front line, and that's usually where players and units crash early, but it's because the quad mechs positions exist. There are a lot of places for Team 1 and Team 2 to try to sneak their way past enemy lines. Of course, there is a little bit of some corner clumping with some mountains, so it's not a full 19 by 19-ish map. There's a little bit of loss in landmass there. But besides that, it's pretty much open, so definitely the bleeding will occur early on, as we start to see here for Team 2's Alex being raided by a couple of Mantis from Kaze. We do see a couple of counter units on board here from Masmori, but there are some intercepting Mantis, so they're not going to get that much work done. No mexes in the sinkhole in the middle of the map, so maybe we won't see that much focus. And there's actually a little bit of mass down there, but again, it's nothing worth worrying about. So we'll see if anybody or anything goes down there. We'll just have to play it by ear there. Still more units for Team 1's Kaze continue to push into Team 2's territory against Alex, and actually starting to get into Clip My Wings' territory. Gun started for Team 1's Martin in the north, and it's shaping up to be... See, Team 1 has 2 players, kind of a third one floating here for Kinder versus 2 players on Team 2. So at least it's a 1v1, essentially 1v1 game in the west, but again, Kinder could float east or west. We do see Clip My Wings is holding back in his main base with Team 2's Eastern players taking up their quad mechs positions. So the only player not on the front line is Team 2's Clip My Wings, but if he needs to, I don't think it'd be that much of a crazy thing to think about him moving maybe at least to this position, at least shoring up this avenue right here, specifically because Alex has lost multiple mexes, and those units got essentially to the main base of Clip My Wings. So he's probably going to be looking at more deterrence currently. We do see that Team 1's Lou has been able to push in on the western side, destroying and taking over Tabernacle's western side here. Decent amount of mexes to lose, especially this early in the game. Team 1 slightly in the lead. Again, nothing too concerning to worry about, but the trend line is the more important thing. T2 started for Kaz in the east, and it looks like Dimitri is on his way for a gun upgrade. More bleeding on the eastern side here now for Kaz, and we see more units just constantly pouring into this huge just power vacuum that's starting to just emerge here. We do see some pink on pink action here shortly between Masmori and Martin. Still no comm on comm action as of yet. We even see some units now getting into the western edge against Tabernacle. So Team 2 is bleeding in multiple places. And one unit does make it past these forces from Team 2's combined Dimitri and Alex. But, oh, actually it does not get killed off, but there should be a unit intercepting those shortly. But on the western side, more mechs is being knocked out. Team 2 is starting to lose the count of mexes, but they are slightly leading in the total mass income, which is possibly just driven by upgrades. Team 1 either has some power issues or, they're focusing on other things at the current moment. Guns started here for Team 2's pink player of Mas Mori. We do see sensor package coming online for Tabernacle. T2 coming on the way for Lou, making sure he keeps what he's claimed on that western side. We do see possible comm on comm action. Gun is done with gun v gun, so hit point advantage slightly for Team 1's Martin, but again, nothing too crazy. It's only 500, so nothing really to write home about. And on the eastern side, of course, gun is done for Dimitri, going for some T2 TMD, and Alex going for some mechs upgrades, I think. Yeah, he's going for some mechs upgrades currently. Comm on comm action has occurred between Martin and Masmori, the Barbie pink and the lightest red pink players. It's just going to be a matter of getting some veterancy more than anything else. We do see Masmori taking a little bit more bulk of the hits, and we do see Martin is at not Team 1, but 1-star veterancy. So at 10% more hit points on board his comm. More stacks of units starting to appear here for Team 1's Kaz. I keep saying Kaz or Kaze. I know at some point somebody made a comment about how it was pronounced. I'll probably just say Kaze for now, just to make it not simplified, but just make it one word or one pronunciation. But we'll see if that sticks. Gun range has been started for Tabernacle. Yeah, I was going to say he's probably going to go for advanced range, especially with sensor package. He's going for that. We do see tactical missile started and is now being loaded on board Loop's comm. So we will see if he is the Billy Nuke comm for Team 1 or he's just going to go for the standard missile. Last point, able to at least kick Martin back at least a little bit, getting some more mexes back online to help his eco, but again, if he doesn't get those T2 units or some sort of assistance on the front lines, he's going to be pushed out once again. He's already losing more of those mexes as we speak. Missile outbound taking out facilities. Looks like that was a T2 one. Maybe that was a T1 one. I couldn't tell. Maybe I think it was. Comm action still occurring here. And now the parashield is down. Masmori targeted the right thing first. Definitely great there, taking out that extra coverage. More THAMs inbound, more T1 and T2 units inbound for Martin. And transport dropping off some assisting engineers. He will lose this position, so that's 2 quad mech positions that Team 2 has lost. And we do see that group of forces from Kaze does fall back. Eastern side, there is a decent stack of units starting to occur here. Decent amount of parashields as well as some pillars. But definitely worrisome if that is a direct confrontation with the comm of Dimitri. Gun done here for Lou, going for more and more of those mass snipage. Yep, there goes Giz. Another 6 mass a second. Team 2 has lost. And Tabernacle does have the advanced range upgrade on board. Unfortunately, Team 1's forces are pretty much almost close to his range. He should be able to see them at this point. Oh yeah, he can see most of them. We see in the east, Masmori is just retreating. He's lost his frontline facility and counter wall sections being built by Kinder, because why not? Eastern side engagements have occurred. but Dimitri 11 is pushing back against Team 1, and now we see an attack inbound from Alex on this eastern side as well. Looks like they're going to try to cut off possibly the retreat of Citrus, which is not going to happen given the placement of Citrus's comm currently. Dimitri has a long way to go to even catch up to the comm. Alex's comm is back here. Looks like he's retreating back to friendly territory. T3 air is online for Team 2 and for Team 1. We do see Kinder is going to assist with his mechs upgrades personally on board that comm. Team 2 stemming the bleeding for the most part on the western side. That group of forces does get forced back once again. And it looks like TMD has been able to mess with all, if not most of those missiles from Lu. We do see a couple of Zui in range of some TMD, but there is a nice little Asylum that doesn't actually block it. Looks like the shot came in just before the Asylum came in to block it. But unfortunately, more TMLs will rain from the sky. Or I should say TMs, tactical missile. Or some move from Pokemon. In the eastern side, that attack has been thwarted for now, and everybody's just stacking more forces. Focusing probably a little bit more on Eco. Team 1 is slightly in the lead. 640, 670. Team 2, 640, 650. So numbers staying roughly the same. No real leader, even considering the fact that Team 1 has a slightly higher percentage of map control, especially with those two quad mech positions under their control. Team 2 doing a very good job of keeping up with what Team 1 has conquered. Of course, with more mechs, it does lead to more income overall in terms of later. But there is, of course, upgrading all those mechs is getting them ringed, possibly getting them double ringed. So it does take a little bit of time to scale. It does help with scaling. It's just instead of having to upgrade 8, let's say T1 mechs, it's 12, and yeah, you have more mass, but you want to get all of your T2s done, then go to T3 instead of upgrading some to Team 1, some to T2, some to T2 and some to T3. You actually already started Team 1. Don't need to actually upgrade that. Nano repair started on Martin's comm. He has 2-star efficiency, lots of those flapjacks floating around to just annoy any sort of units running around. We do see some Ilshis online from Masmori. That should be enough to deal with most things, and he's leading with his comm, trying to get as much efficiency as possible. He's keeping his units mobile, making sure they don't get sniped easily by those missiles. Same kind of thing on the eastern side here between Kaze and Alex. Eastern side, no real engagement. We could see a game where no one dies before 20 minutes. We'll see if it ends up being the case or not. We do see Tabernacle has the Aeon Sniper Commander, actually without the speed upgrade, so it's almost Aeon Sniper Commander with the sensor package and the shield. So tanky, so it's kind of tanky, kind of sniper, intelligence comm. I don't even know what you would call that combo. If he had the other shield upgrade, it'd be tanky intelligence comm, but I don't know what you would call it. Semi-tanky intelligence comm, maybe? I'll come up with some sort of name. Shield coming online here from Martin. He's getting really tanky with that comm. 19,000 additional hit points on board will give very much some wiggle room in terms of going after some stuff or retreating, one or the other. 2-star efficiency, nano, and gun on board, so definitely a threat for the western side. Nano repair started for Mas Moray. Definitely should get them on sooner rather than later. He's going to benefit more from the HP regen, but of course with the shield upgrade it will put him at a disadvantage with total hit points for now. If he goes for full tank Seraphim, he will net more HP, but the concern of course is right now it does favor Team 1's Martin, especially with that 19,000 about to be done. Eastern side, nothing really happening over here. It's essentially just no man's land, plus no one wants to engage. It's like trench warfare at this point, but just no one's engaging, which, I mean, that's kind of part of trench warfare anyway. There's that no man's land that occurs. Ilshi slowly pushing in. The comm does finish its shield upgrade, and now it's 35,000 plus hit points on board versus Masmori's 16,000 with 82 hit points a second regen versus 62, so a little bit more. Of course, the shield upgrade does help alleviate a little bit of that not negative, but that difference. We do see overcharges, and of course, Ilshi's raining into Martin's comm. Martin already lost 3,000 hit points, gets another ranking veterancy, now up to 36,000 hit points. Masmori trying to get into range. And now we see more and more comm action between these pink players. I think the only comms to actually trade blows, at least for now. I don't think anybody else is really in range of one another to do so. The western side over here, but that's about it. Martin has lost almost his entire shield not looking good for the Calm. Again, he has Nano on board, 68 hit points a second regen. Looks like Masmori wants to get some more veterancy on board. Ilshis are just a cut above T2 units. Man, they just punch above their weight considerably. You know, considering T2 versus T3 sort of thing. We do see just more and more of that veterancy going to Masmori's Calm. He's not going to get to 3 stars, but he'll definitely force back Martin. And it looks like Martin is also focused on more veterancy as well. He's up to 4 stars now. He gets up to 18,000, almost 19,000 hit points. And Ilshi's still trying to survive. A lot of them have been eliminated, but again, 19,000 hit points almost chewed off that Calm. And that's going to be actual, like, whole hit points that he's losing. And that is not looking good for Team 1. He's very tanky, but again, 1,000 of anything will kill anything. Doesn't matter if it's Aurora, if it's Zooey, if it's whatever. Pretty much 1,000 of anything will kill anything. And Martin is starting to drop almost into the yellow. There is a nice little Percy online. Overcharge will wipe that out pretty quickly from Masmori and get him up to 3-star veterancy at least. And there should be an overcharge shortly. No, not yet. There should be one. Maybe he has it on, no, not focus fire. What's the manual fire versus auto fire? Some players do auto, some players do manual. It just depends on the playstyle and whatnot. We do see a couple of Harbingers inbound from Team 2. Tabernacle to assist. This force trying to push back Masmori. I love the assistance from Lou. And he didn't send all of his forces in. He sent most of them in, drew off essentially the entire defending force for Tabernacle. And now the Strike Mech position, sorry, quad mechs? No, 5-star mech position is going to go down here shortly. And it's forced back Masmori, giving time for Martin to repair and get a couple of Percys back online. Shield, not up to full HP yet, but it's already at half. So in about a couple more moments, he'll be back and ready to use that shield once again. Attack in the east and attack in the far east as well. Every side of the map is starting to engage. Essentially, the only one not engaging is air. Team 1 stomping over Alex's position. He does have some Percys to help, but there are a decent amount of bricks to contend with as well, and there's other Team 1 and T2 forces, so it's not a walk in the park for those guys. In the eastern side, bricks facing off against mainly T2s. We do see a couple of Percys thrown in there and a couple of parashields. So it looks like the Dimitri 11 side of things will be fine. Everyone else is hurting here, and of course over here to the west. ASF's starting to roam the sinkhole. Nice little Omnis online. T3 brick has been dropped off by Kaze. Does take out a T2 mech. I think that's the only... oh, there's more mechs is lost over here, so maybe it got all the way in the middle and then moved there. So let's say it did. So that's 4 or 5 mexes times 9. 45 mass a second. Team 2 is down a decent chunk of mass income. Team 1 about 250-ish in favor of Team 1. And that trend line has continued to grow in terms of the spread. And it used to be about 50 or so. Now it's 250. If it gets anywhere close to 500, that's really concerning. And then 1,000 is just not looking good. Now, anyway, 500 doesn't look good as well, but I have seen games where teams behind even 1,000 mass have come back. Mass is not the only thing that matters, but it definitely helps. It's like money. Money isn't the only important thing in the world, but it definitely helps. Martin, again, still pushing with that tanky Calm. The shield is back online, at least the full HP, so it's able to actually use the shielding and not just let it bypass the shielding as it recharges. Eastern side has started to collapse for Team 1, so there is starting to be a victory on this eastern side. But that lead in mass income now at, I'd say it's probably about still 250. But the Calm of Martin, again, still in range of some Ilshis. There's also some Othams mixed in. He has to be careful. Those Othams and Ilshis and the Calm in range all at one time. Not a good idea. That Percy stack is definitely concerning. Now, if they target, or they all target the same Ilshi, a lot of damage will kind of miss. But that Otham essentially gets one tapped. The next Otham's going to get one tap. There goes that one. And that Calm will be forced back. Definitely a concerning amount of firepower here for Team 1. ASF fight will happen on Team 2 side of the map. And I think Team 2 has it. Yeah, I think Team 2 has it. It's a Cybran versus Aeon affair. And yep, it does favor Team 2. I think a considerable amount. I probably would say 50 maybe. No, actually 60 something. So yeah, he has air dominance. for Team 2, I should say. And the trend continues to push and push and push. Eastern side, we even see Dimitri 11 coming in to try to take out Kaze's frontline position. Everybody has made it past 20 minutes. Maybe we'll make it past 30 with this group. We do see guns started. Yep, that's gun started here for Kaze underneath some shield coverage. That is now currently being bombarded by T3 Trebuchet fire. It's a Cybern v Cybern affair there. In the middle, the Omni is going to go down. Very unfortunate for Team 2. But they do have air control, which is, again, something. It's better than nothing. So land, they're not doing super great, Team 2, but they are winning in air. So 1 out of 2 theaters of war is better than 0. So granted, there's no Navy, so technically it's a tie, if you can call it that. So it's 2v2. Both teams have quote-unquote 1 Navy, and then one's are doing very well on land, and one is doing very well on air. But I mean, some would say that the other one doesn't count because it's in the desert and there's no water, and it doesn't matter. Which, if this wasn't a desert map, this would probably be water. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. But even if it was water, I don't think it'd have that much of an impact. No. And that is the hard thing with water being in the central point of the map. Unless it's a significant part of the map, it's not going to matter a whole lot. We've seen plenty of games where somebody takes the middle, builds a naval facility, and goes, yeah, it's nice. It's not really great, but it's nice. Gun upgrade or whatever upgrade has been canceled for Kaze's comm, and Team 2's artillery will still pierce through. They probably won't get that much further now that some Perseus have come to ruin their fun in the sun. We do see a couple of restorers running around, going after a couple of bouncers, but they're not going to go anywhere in Team 2 side of things because, yeah, the ASF and the bouncers kind of wipe out the restorers. Advanced Nano starting here for Mas Mori. Probably might invest in advanced, not advanced, but at least the regular regen, the ore one, just to help out his units survive just a little bit longer. But I do understand the desire to go for more hit points, especially with Team 1's Martin at almost 40,000 hit points. It is a lot of hit points with that shield on board. 25 minutes on the clock here. Team 1 has not lost a player. Neither has Team 2, so possibly a 30-minute game with nobody dying. Maybe, maybe not. We'll just have to see how the game shakes out. Team 1, 2.3k versus Team 2's 1.9k, so at least 300 or so mass in favor of Team 1. Yeah, roughly. So that would probably indicate to me that somebody's going to start thinking about, well, both teams should be, but somebody on Team 1's probably sooner going to think about maybe ending the game, because it's not just about having the most mass, having the most units, having the most map control, that sort of thing. It's about winning the game at the end of the day. Nukes, artillery, game enders, tons of experimentals, whether that's T4 land, T4 air, T4 navy, T4 artillery, or other things. It just depends on their flavor of the day. My favorite ice cream is chocolate. I don't know why. It's just not, well, it's chocolate and it's coffee. I think it's coffee, and then right below that it's chocolate, and right before that is vanilla bean. I like a really good vanilla bean. I'm hungry again. I do have some coffee ice cream in the freezer. I might have that after the recording. Anyway, Advanced Nano almost done for Mas Mori. He's getting hit by a couple of those spearheads. Yep, those are spearheads. And tactical missile started for Martin. He gets rid of his shield, so he now drops to 20,000 hit points. If a common engagement occurs, that will favor Team 2, at least in terms of a 1v1 engagement. Now, with the Perseus there, definitely a worrisome thing. Couple of Perseus, speaking of which, over here on the middle, looks like they tried to snipe the Omni, didn't get as close as they wanted to. Need to get underneath the shielding. There's a couple of Team 1 and Team 2 PD in there. Granted, they're tickle cannons, but hey, some damage is better than no damage. Splash started for Mas Mori. He's going to snipe that comm. That's probably what he's going to do. Heavy shield has been started for Tabernacle. He has gone for the tanky intelligence comm on this western side in tactical nuke. Of course, like I said, started for Team 1's Martin. T4 mobile artillery experimental factory nonsense of the Fat Boy online for Lou. He's actually retreated back to his main base and has gotten an SMD online. Love to see that. He's getting actually a T3 air facility as well, probably for some gunships or just ASFs in general. We see another T2 air facility online for Team 1 in the form of Kaze. And on the southern side of things, huge air grid formed here by Team 2's air player of Clip My Wings and no other air facility. So it's just one air facility for Team 2, possible 3 air players at least, a gunship at a minimum for Team 1, and then of course the main player over here to the east. He's going for more of the spread out long column route, and his opponent of Clip My Wings is going for the more boxy look. We do see a couple of just open points here, so there's not that much of a cascade, but of course there is a decent amount of pigeons on both sides, so it's definitely if one side goes, the other side might be fine, but just something to worry about. But of course there is a nice little Awasaw experimental bomber started for Team 2's Clip My Wings. He doesn't have Seraphim Tech naturally due to the fact that he's Aeon, which means somebody, which would be Mas More, gifted him at Seraphim Technology. Restorers inbound, maybe coming to help out the western side. Maybe it's a nice little gift for helping out with giving him some Seraphim Tech. Looks like actually the Aeons are shifting westward, possibly going after the Fat Boy. I would surmise Dimitri done with an experimental, most likely Monkey. Nope, skips Monkey, goes for Crab. I guess at 28 minutes that would make sense. And Tabernacle finishes his experimental. It's going to be a Colossus. He's Aeon. So we have soon to be 3 experimentals online for Team 2. This one's halfway done. Team 1, do we see anything big and shiny? Fat Boy, no monkeys out of the 2 Cyberins, at least that I can tell. Or oh, nope, there is a Crab down there. Never mind. There is a Crab online for Kaze in this frontline position for Alex. There's going to be no more here shortly. And in the north, no other experimentals for Team 1. In the western side here, we see Mas Mori using that gun comm to great success, trying to take out all of these Perseus. Again, look how many hundreds of hit points per shot he's ripping off of those armor plates, but he's taking tons of shots. Again, he's at 50,000 hit points at 5-star veterans. He needs to get that parashield, and I don't think he's going to get saved in time. There's a lot of fire coming his way, and most of his offense support is dead, and now all of it is dead. And there goes a Billy Nuke onto that quad mix position for Team 1's Martin, or for Team 2, but Team 1's Martin took him out. And there goes Team 2's Mas Mori due to Percy's. That is the power of Percy Fire. They do tons of damage, and it just hurts. It's deadly. It's not fun. And that is going to be a kill here for Team 1. First kill of the game, almost 30 minutes. Nobody dies, just barely. Needed about 45 more seconds. A couple of Ravagers getting some damage. A nice little Crab, and a Crab comes in and shoots the back of that Crab. That Crab's not going to be healthy and not have a good time at the doctor, complaining about lower back pain and whatnot. Nano Repair started for Kaze. He has Stealth on board. Team 3 Engineering Suite already on board. Possibly Cloaking. Baby Nuke outbound to the west, and it's going to do some damage. It's going to arrive probably a little bit later than he probably wanted it to, but it will kill a decent amount of Harbingers nonetheless. Kills off actually not as much as I thought. Boom. Kills off those. Oh, of course. Boom over there. And the Awasaw Bomber is done. It goes after a chunk of those Perseus inbound for the comm of Tabernacle. Here comes those Harbingers. They get into the base. The second Fat Boy is almost done. It looks like it will finish. There's a couple of shielded Rambo preset commanders, which we're not going to have a fun time. And now the Fat Boy is no more. That was just recently built. This one will get away. And that Colossus is going to retreat. Maybe. Probably not. But maybe. Ooh, it's going to be close. As ACU is going down, transports maybe tried to pick them up, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. Colossus will make it home, less than 2,000 hit points remaining. Hover bomb inbound. Yep, inbound from Martin's comm. That's not going to be healthy. Oh, your daily dose of plasma delivered directly to his face. That is less than half hit points remaining. The Harbingers have pretty much been dealt with, but the western side has taken a loss. Of course, Team 1 knows about that bomber. They're going to be targeting him specifically. Second bomber. Nope, second bomber not underway. Going into more air facilities and looks like mass FAF farming as well, trying to get a little bit of best of both worlds. Granted, the only thing I don't like, I love the the templates and whatnot. Definitely having a little bit more shielding would be better, especially on the cardinal directions, right where the 4 dots are, just to again get a little bit overall coverage. Granted, the single shield covers most of it, but one T3 shield is not going to be enough for artillery or any sort of thing. So, just in case. Speaking of things that could end the game, Nuke has been started. and done for Team 1's Kinder, and he's almost had that done, half loaded, getting secondary air grids. He's gone for the diagonal method, so nice little difference of shape. He went for a backwards L, and now he's going for some diagonal lines. Bad boy done in the east for Citrus, and in the north, artillery has been started for Lou. And he has a nuke as well, so Team 1 has 2 nukes online, and 2 soon to be loaded. Looks like Team 1 already has 1 target in mind, and it looks like it's going after this base over here to the west. Knock out an entire flank and then just slowly crush it. Definitely a good idea there. Team 2's air player now has 2 bases being gifted over from Dimitri 11. Got his stuff, of course, Masmori stuff from him. Not that Masmori wanted to give it over, but you know, it's just kind of what happens when you die. Bomb lands right on top of the Fat Boy. Fat Boy has no shields. Here goes the nuke. Boom. Doesn't do that much. Another bomb is going to land. I don't think it'll kill off the Fat Boy, but it's definitely going to hurt. Ooh, less than 5,000 hit points remaining. The ASFs are slow to respond. Will the bomber go in for one more pass? I don't know. Oh, he's going to go for it. The ASFs are going to go east. Oh, and the bomber does not go. Okay, just decides to go home. If it did, it would have died. But it's a good call for Clip My Wings to retreat. Doesn't want his wings to be clipped. There's the joke of the day. At some point, I was going to say something like that. I just know it. Oh, ASFs. Oh, not even a good engagement here for Team 2's Clip My Wings. He spreads them out. And will that be enough? Looks like his numbers might be enough. There's no AA. Oh, there's a tiny bit of AA, but not really a whole lot. Couple of SAM sites underneath. Nothing too critical or overwhelming, but you know, it is something. The bomber will be fine. It has 1-star veterancy, halfway up to a second one. Looks like a lot of ASFs died in that mix, but Team 2 will retain air control. And Clip My Wing says time to win. He's currently sitting at, I'd say, 100 ASFs, 108 with 12 bingo on fuel. So he has air dominance most definitely, closing in on that supremacy at 150 more than Team 1. Nuke is outbound, and it was going for this base. The SMD is not loaded, so it will land, and it is going for that base. Martin sends all of his mass over to everyone else. Don't know why he did that, but it looks like he's just helping load stuff. This nuke is almost loaded as well. Is there an SMD anywhere? There is one there. There is one there. So they're both loaded. The air grids will be fine. And Tabernacle is getting out of range. There's a Colossus. Ooh, that wreck. That's the one that he control K to scoop up. But the line of artillery. Oh no! Kaboom! Takes out a decent amount of miasmas. It does open the door for a Fat Boy to push back in, but it's going to need a little bit of time. It's severely damaged. It's really risky sending that out on its lonesome. I don't know where that boom nuke is going, but looks like it just wants to take out some mass. How much mass damage was that? 38,000, definitely worth it. There goes the boom nuke, takes out some reclaim, but again, nothing too worrisome. Eastern side's, again, been very kind of devoid of a lot of action. We saw a little bit with those Percys, a little bit with some crab on crab action. Looks like there's another crab online for Team 1, and looks like maybe this is Team 1's? I don't know. Bombers are inbound. Sorry, bomber is inbound. The ASFs are inbound for the bomber. They want to deal with it. And unfortunately, the ASFs do not get there in time. Bomb's going to land and take out a decent chunk of Percys. It's going to continue on its course. Great engagement by Team 2. And there is a lot of AA in their wave. 3 Fat Boys running around for Citrus. We could see an assassination attempt. I don't think it'll kill off the comm, but it's not going to go for the comm. It's going to go for the base. There are more ASFs inbound all the time from the air grid to the north. Oh, it's going to hit some ASFs from Team 2. Not too bad. Bomber continuing on its trajectory. It looks like it's going to go for the secondary air grid to the east. It's going to be another... Nope, not going to drop the bomb. It's going to turn. Scathis has been started. Probably regretting his decision to do that now that Team 2 is going to be aware of that. Bomb will drop on the T3 air headquarters. And there's going to be an airlocking happening on Team 1. Bomber still doing lots of damage. Shield is down. The nuke is exposed. AA being deployed. And no, the bomb... Oh, the bomber thought about it and went, yeah, it's probably a good idea. The nuke... Oh, it's going to be close. Will the nuke bomb deploy. No, it's going to go after the secondary air grid, the other one, and take that grid out. Ooh, that's going to hurt. A lot of power here for Team 1. Oh, not over, says Martin and Lou. The western side for Team 2 is starting to collapse. Rambo Precinct commanders running around and some T3 gunships. Bomber's done so much damage, 148k. Artillery is almost done. Now the shielding will hold for at least the first. Ooh, that's not great. Ooh, I felt that. Lots of friendly fire there. Not good. Bomber needs to drop, take out that artillery. There's lots of explosive targets next to it. Bomb does drop. Oh, there it goes. Goodbye. Ooh. That deserves a boom. It's up to 264,000 mass. There's another nuke here for Team 1 over here to the eastern side of the west. Bomb will drop on top of the nukes, so at least one of them will be taken out at this point. And more ASFs are probably going to die. Yep, there goes more. Lots of friendly fire for that bomber. Was that Scatha's fire? Does Team 2 have a... Oh, Team 2 has a game ender online. There it goes. Dimitri 11 already producing one of those. Second one coming online as well. Nuke is outbound. And it's going after this base for Alex. Artillery piece is almost done. That is going to get shot down. How's the bomber doing? Bomber's still alive. 314,000 mass and climbing. And it's not looking good for Team 1. Team 2 just had enough time to get a couple of different things online. Team 1 has that nuke here and another nuke here. This one should be loaded. No, it already fired. That's when it got shot down. That's right. And looks like the bomber is going to make it back home. 314,000 mass. Killed. 5-star vetted bomber. Definitely worth going after. Scathis question mark, says Lou. Yep, there is a Scathis. Scathis raining in on the incoming land engagement. Now, very underutilized thing to do. Usually you see it going after bases, going after maybe a comm if somebody's being cheeky or anything, but going after essentially slow-moving targets like Fat Boys and land units in some degrees, it is definitely not the most utilized strategy with it, but it does work. And if I remember correctly, there isn't a range requirement. Is there a range requirement on Scathis? Oh, no, there still is. Okay, I was going to say, I don't think it's a super close range weapon, but it's close enough. Bomber tries to drop some payloads on top of some SACUs. Going to get not another one. Colossus is still alive somehow. It's still kicking. And it looks like why is he just continuously firing a Billy nuke there? I don't know what he's doing with it. SMD is going to go down in the east. One Fat Boy is dead. So at a minimum, the Scathis have killed off one of them. Shields are down. Repeat. Shields are down. Shields are back online. I'm going to have to put stuff down here just to keep track of that Scathis because I am going to lose it if it takes out. I'm just going to use the left side for more camera play. What? Face bomb. What? Nuke where? Says clip. What? What? Okay, did I miss something? What happened? Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Where is that? Is that bomber still alive? Nope, that bomber's still alive. Going in for those Fat Boys. 330 mass. 331,000 mass killed. Nuke is outbound. SMD is loaded. Which weird, didn't say strategic launch, which is very weird, but it could have been because I'm in the split view. So I'll end the split, go back to normalcy. Apologies for missing the strategic launch. They take the notification. And western side's kind of slowed down in the action, but we'll see if Team 1 kicks it back up again. It is again a 5v4 in favor of Team 1. Another bomb land, 17,000 hit points remain, 360,000 mass. The most I've ever seen an hour stop bomber take is 500,000, so it's getting pretty close. And we have Bricks inbound. Sorry, not Bricks inbound, Percy's inbound. Those Percy's are now dead. Dimitri 11 coming out with his comm to assist. He has laser on board. There is another nuke signature outbound from Team 1. It must have just been the split. That's a... Wow, that's a lot of gunships here for Team 2's Clip My Wings. He is not... 150 T2 gunships. That is just so many gunships. Granted, they're T2, so they're not super strong in terms of HP, but still. Artillery landing in from Team 2. Looks like there's 2 of them online. Maybe it's just one. It looks like 2 shots. Oh, no, there's 3 shots. We have 3 T2 or T3 artillery pieces, plus a bunch more being built, because why the heck not? Nuke is outbound. Nuke is going to get shot down. And the game is starting to feeling negative 10. I bet it's not negative 10. This would be negative 10. Look at how slow negative 10. I mean, you couldn't play this. You'd be just clawing your eyes out, right? Because you couldn't really do a whole lot because it's moving this slow. But anyway, feeling like negative 10. I definitely understand that feeling for sure. Look at this artillery base. Getting some T3 Seraphim shields. Love to see it. And that's planning for the future by any means. There's 3 emissaries started and a third one online, 3 more thought about. It's actually not a perfect configuration. You can see that it's offset a little bit. It does get covered by T3 P-Gens, though. In the east, somebody got sniped by Kinder. Ooh, apologies for missing that, but nice grab there. ASFs will kill off the bombers before they get to the artillery pieces. Or some may drop a payload. Nope, none drop a payload. But that's going to hurt. But again, the eastern side, not terribly undefended. And look at this. The Scathis is down. Looks like the artillery was just enough to squeak on through and kill it off. And, of course, the strap bomber's going to help with that a little bit. There's also the crab nearby. That is unfortunate. Team 2 has lost a Scathis, but they still have 4 artillery pieces online, so there is still that. Bomber is still kicking around. 443,000 mass killed. Boom and Nuke landing in front of that Colossus. Not going to do a terrible amount of damage to it, though, in terms of number of hit points being, or percentage of hit points. No Scathis here. The Nuke is dead. And this is gone. No Nuke there. Artillery pieces has been restarted. There goes the Billy Nuke. Nothing too crazy. Bomber is still active. 462,000 mass. It's going to die right here. There it goes. And it's going to crash land on something. It gets a mass fab in its death. Takes out a couple of shielding. Does no damage to the comm, but does take out a couple of AA emplacements as well. So in its death, I still serve. Oh, sorry. Even in death, it still serve. I should say the quote right. Pennyquate's not. It's even at death, I still serve, but anyway, close enough, right? The game hasn't really flipped on its head yet, but Team 1 has taken on another player for Team 2. It's a 5v3, and with that, Tabernacle has control of the western and eastern edge. I feel like Alex should just get control of Dimitri 11's stuff and then call it a day, just because him going over here and then going here, it's just not a fun experience, not fun to do, especially for playing, casting, whatever the case is. That's just time, energy, APM, all of that. That's just being sucked away. Team 1 still has the artillery piece. Actually, 2 artillery pieces over here to the east for Citrus. Why hasn't this been targeted yet? Does Team 2 just not know about it? No, they know about it. They're just not noticing it. Lots of energy being gifted over, some conversations. And the artillery pieces have been taken out by the 2 Dukes from Team 1. Now the game has really flipped on its head. This is not looking great for Team 2. They lost a player. They lost the Scathis. Scathis is being rebuilt. They've lost 2 emissaries. 2 remain. There's another Duke started. The air grid hasn't been targeted yet, but it might soon be. Definitely needs more shielding. And there's a lot of gunships. The land engagement is just diminishing returns at this point, especially on the eastern side where, I mean, this is probably, what, 200 gunships? No, it's still 150, but it looks like 200. And artillery still raining in on this position. There's an artillery piece in the north for Team 1's Lou. And it's not looking... It's about even now. Of course, that bomber was shot down. Just thinking of what else Team 2 has in store. Tabernacle hanging out back there. It's just... You know, the emissary is barely alive. Looks like this one was actually done as well, so Team 2 lost 3 of them right here. Very, very unfortunate. Now, Dukes are targeting this Duke from Team 2's Alex. He's hitting a second one. Definitely not a great place to stand next to a P-Gen. We've seen what that does to people, standing next to P-Gens. The massive amounts of hives being built around this Scathis. It's back up into the green. And this artillery base doesn't have shielding. It lost its power. Looks like power consumption is a problem for Citrus. Looks like he got it back under control, but Not really, but it's not too bad. That's the wrong button. There we go. And looks like artillery still targeting up to the north. Those roaming bands of strat bombers definitely is concerning. They could strat snipe another thing. That probably could have taken out this position as well. I could have just missed it, but I feel like the artillery did that in. Especially with this one almost dead. That kind of makes me think that it happened. Especially because there was only one shield in this position. Oh, it's going to be close. Shield pops back online. There it is. No, it doesn't. The shot lands a little bit after. Or sorry, a little bit before the shield was completely finished and whatnot. Team 2 is down to one artillery piece. If you're rooting for Team 2, they had it really well. There was a, about 10 or 15, I wouldn't say 15, about 10-minute window of just it was going to be Team 2, but Team 1 has caught up considerably. We have tons of gunships running around. Another of the bombers is online. Oh, that's not great. The shielding is down. The Fat Boy is dead. And that bomber is not feeling good. There's some AA. It's going to fly right into it. Ooh. Not great. Team 1 has learned their mistake on that, and they built AA in a lot of places. Strat bombers are inbound. They have their next target in mind. Alex, unfortunately, is standing next to a pigeon. It's going to make their job a little bit easier. Actually, a little bit more easier with two pigeons right next to it. ASF's going to try to block. Oh, they get a nice engagement going. It could be enough to protect the comm, but I think the artillery piece is gone. Oh, nope, one shield remains. Very, very lucky. Scathis is online, not even in shielding. Don't even know why it's sitting there. Why is it sitting there? And then it goes, oh, why am I sitting here? And then it walks back. Yeah, get back underneath shield coverage. Not the best idea. Scathis raining in. I don't even know. Is it going for that? No, it looks like it is. 3 artillery pieces online for Team 1. Shielding, 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 more shielding. And it's not going to be super. It doesn't move again. It's not underneath a lot of shielding. I don't understand why it's sitting there. That was just a great grab there by Team 1. Don't know why the Scathis was there. And doesn't take out any... No, not enough. Some emitters go down, but not enough. Had the T2 or T3 artillery from Team 2 been targeting it, it could have been enough. And we have more and more brick raids to the middle. That emissary is just taking a long time to build. Looks like this emissary is maybe targeting Team 1's position now, but shielding is getting back online pretty quickly, so I don't think it's going to take much longer for Team 1 to crack the remaining strategic targets at this point. Alex underneath shield coverage. Oh, it looks like the Duke's been abandoned. And looks like Team 2's Clip My Wings Control Ks. And there goes Team 2's Tabernacle, leaving Alex, the last remaining player on Team 2. And he's surrounded by a nice little crab, a couple of bricks. He should be fine, but where did the Scathis go? Well, it died because of artillery. Twice. Well, at least the second time. First time, I think it was a combination of the bombers helped take out some of the shielding, and then the artillery came and wiped it out. But there goes Alex. He control Ks, gets out of there. There's a desync at the very end, but that doesn't matter. Of course, the game is already over at that point. Team 1 wins the game. It's a flawless victory for them. It was definitely a comeback. There was a moment where Team 2 had, I think it was 2 emissaries, a Duke, so 3 artillery pieces plus a Scathis. And that bomber just went on a tear. 400 plus 1,000 mass killed. Absolutely just wrecked Team 1's air player of Kinder. I mean, look at the remains still. This one and this one were just devastating. Did he even get his T3 air? Oh, he did get his T3 air quarters back online. Another bomb over here. Took out this position. Second Duke was online, so Team 1 had 5 artillery pieces at that point. Yeah, it's kind of enough. So, yeah, I mean, it's enough to really contend against pretty much every shielded position. Now, there's some that could survive, especially with a lot of engineers, but it would just take a lot of focus on just the shielding themselves. Well, let me know down in the comments what you felt about the game overall. MVP for me, I don't think there's one standoutish player. I mean, Lou on that Western side, he took that quad mix position and he never lost it. There was some incursions and some counter moves from Team 2, but he never lost it. So that extra match obviously helped throughout the game for him. And there wasn't like a big move. I would say the snipe on Team 1's Dimitri 11 did kind of help trend Team 1 in that direction. The Scathis was still online, I believe, at that point. If not, it was died shortly after. But I think the Scathis going down plus the Calm going down kind of started the demise for Team 2. And then, of course, the position with the artillery, that was not great. And then it was just, just running down the hill at that point. But, again, let me know down in the comments who you have a pick for MVP. I don't have a pick, so just let me know. And I will respond, of course, maybe not the day after or the day of or something, but I will respond that I do give that a guarantee. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see all of you in the next one.